everybody. If you're watching this, do me a favor. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel as I continue to grow my YouTube channel. So, yeah, I'm here for another review of Love After Lockup, but I do want to say this for anybody that might be experiencing it. I called about my student loans this morning, and I do have to say that I hate dealing with the people at student loans because there was always some aggressive white man on the other end of the phone trying to tell me what I had to do. And I don't play that. Also, yeah, I got a few loans in default. I'm not gonna lie. But that was because in 2020, when the education secretary sent me an email that I still have, that my loans had been clear, and then the Supreme Court put that injunction in there. I said, huh? But even during COVID, they had zeroed out, and then all of a sudden the numbers appeared, and I was like, these people are playing games, and I'm not going to keep putting my money into something and then it shows up or it'll go away. Like it wasn't clear to me. But anyway, I called. There was a Black woman on the phone. She went through all the different options. I asked her. I was like, look, she's resending, the paperwork or whatever. And I said, thank you. I appreciate that. What kind of things do I need to prove? She was like, you don't have to prove rent. You can just, write it down and that kind of stuff. And she was like, honestly, May 5th, they're going to start garnishing things like your tax refunds, this, that, and the other. And I don't have a tax refund. I zeroed out. So I don't get anything or anything like that. Anyway, she was like, in terms of a date for garnishing wages, she was like, we don't even have a date for that yet. I said, well, I'm just trying to, but she said, yes, you have time to get your paperwork in, that kind of thing. So it was, as someone else described it, a bit painless. I'm just grateful to God that I was able to get the ball rolling. So I just say that for anybody who's dealing with it. And since 5.3 million people are dealing with that or on the verge of it, just, a little encouragement. Okay. All right. So Love After Lockup, Quit Playing Games, season 6, episode 6. All right. Savannah and Bradley. Nope. All I'm going to say is blood is thicker than water, Savannah. And that's all I got for you. I think Ashley, Julius, and Alexis. Ashley, I could tell by the plethora of disguises you use that something was wrong with you. I just didn't know how wrong and how crazy you could actually be until last week. So she's in a hotel crying about how he lied about everything. I was like, duh, bitch, he was giving you jail talk. Okay, and I don't feel sorry for her. And I'm going to tell you why. And sometimes there's other people who don't feel sorry for me on this show. But there are people I feel sorry for. Like Shantae when she was with True. Because I just felt like she wasn't really feeling good about herself as a woman. And that's why she was allowing that to be done to her. But Ashley don't even come close on that list. Okay. So I don't feel sorry for her. She didn't spend any money on him while in jail. So it's not like she lost thousands of dollars or took food out of her kids' mouths, which she shouldn't have done anyway. But I'm just saying, just in the grand scheme of things. Move on. Move on. You were not that into him that you need to be crying and carrying on like that. You're a drama queen. And yes, you are crazy. How are you raising small children with the emotional and mental bandwidth of a 3-year-old? I don't know. Anyway, so he called in Umar and he was like, she's too much. And I was just like, I agree. I concur. I don't, like, he's not wrong. So actually, this is one of those times where the ex-convict is not wrong, okay? He didn't sleep with her. He didn't, So he called in Uber, like I said, but Ashley has to be half white. And I'm going to say that specifically because she was out in the hotel lobby loudly sobbing on a hotel floor, like nobody else is there, like there aren't other guests. Then she gets back in the room and calms down. Like she wanted everybody to hear her. She wanted to draw attention to it. And it was given a bit of a Karen thing. Like if they see him, they're going to presume that he's done something to her. I didn't like that. And she says this is the most embarrassed she's ever been. It's the most embarrassed you ever been. I don't believe that. As somebody who was in the club for a living, I don't. I don't. And you don't have anybody else to blame because you called this camera crew. You wanted this on TV. Excuse me. All right. So anyway, I have a feeling that that's just not true. How about that? So he said that he never told her to get his name tatted. And he was like, I know y'all talking to production are going to misconstrue it. I said, okay, look, I don't make fun of people like who can't like read adulthood. That stuff is really scary. Because some things happen. But I'm just going to say you got to stick to the rivers and lakes that you used to. It says, especially when you're on TV and it's being recorded, misconstrued it. Like, no. Like, no. Like, even when you're in prison talking to all these women, like, no. Like, nobody ever corrected you. Nobody sent you a book or a dictionary. Because, in prison, you can get a dictionary. No, baby, enroll in some class. Really take care of yourself. All right, so Julius gets back to Alexis's apartment where she pays all the bills, the utilities, and certainly the rent. He told her he was with Tyler, smoking and chilling, and I'm just like, damn, is weed legal in Ohio? Because he don't mean cigarettes. I mean, I know you just got out, but like, ooh. Anyway, knowing he's lying, she says she has feelings and that she has really strong discernment and she learned it in church. I said, okay, girl, use it and get gone. Okay, this is not worth it. This is taking more out of you than necessary. The fact that you're already not feeling good in a relationship this early, this soon, it's not worth it. I know you put in time and stuff like that. Count your blessings, cut your losses. All right, so she takes him to his parole office, meeting or whatever. She's mad. She's feeling uneasy. It was the same thing I was saying with Kiana and Demadric. And she was like, oh, my stomach is starting to hurt really bad because it's stressing me out. That's trauma. That's not good. Ashley was still texting him. And I could hear his phone going off. And she kind of is like rolling her eyes and stuff like that. This, that, and the other. First of all, as someone who keeps their phone perpetually on silent, just because I just don't like to be disrupted with noise, I don't even keep it on vibrate. I just always keep my phone on silent because that gives me a level of peace. But for somebody who's living a double, probably triple and quadruple life at this point, just because they're not on TV doesn't mean they're not there. I'm gonna need you to put your phone on silent, bruh. Cause what the hell? Like, are you trying to get caught? Anyway, so he knows she's suspicious. He's a hood ass dummy girl. Let him go. She asked him if he told his PO about her and spending the night at her house. He was like, nah, I ain't got to tell her stuff like that. I can stay wherever I want. I was like, that may be true, but just in case, even if it's for Ashley's reputation, record, and safety, handle that. All right, not Ashley. What's the other girl's name? Alexis. I hate when they have names this hard. Like it's too many of the same letter. Anyway, I hate to say it, but Julius gives me the vibes like he's gonna go back because I can see him falling into another life. I could tell by the way he likes to dress and go this, that, and the other. He's calling. He wants to be able to live and have freedom. And part of living and have freedom, like in terms of who you date, who you mess with, is also having the resources, like, I don't know, money from a job to be able to do those things. And since you're dependent on other people, you just gonna have to wait or move in with your homeboys. All right. Because that's what it's giving, that he wants a certain kind of lifestyle really quick. She asked him if she's the only one. he says, well, yeah, but there is somebody else. She runs to the car and cries. I was like, girl, please, I get it. Lock them doors. I mean, lock them, lock them. Cry until you get yourself together. Because trust me, I had a really bad experience in graduate school. And I figured out then, after leaving my professor's office, crying and driving do not mix. Okay. So I ain't telling you to pull off. But once you clear them tears, drive. Okay. He is not worth it. He has no claim to your home. And quite frankly, he's on parole. He don't want to show up knocking there. All you got to do is say, I'm going to call the police, and he going to go on about his business. All right. And I'm sure there are others, but it remains to be seen. Okay. So, Michael and Joey. Look, we all know Michael has snake-like habits. Okay. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I kind of like Michael, and I don't think Michael is wrong in this situation. What that's like number two, because we had Julius and Ashley, and now we got Michael and Joey, and I'm leaning toward Michael. That's just my observation here. All right. So Michael's driving, going to handle business or whatever, and he's me when I see a cop. I may not even be doing anything, but that's exactly how I feel. Like, I don't care. I'm always like, oh shit, please don't stop. So he's talking about how Joey may be the greatest dude he's ever snagged, in terms, I'm sure, of, things. But he said, I just want to enjoy my time out. And I was like, your time out before you go back in? Like, it just sounded a little Anyway, I think he was talking about the halfway house, or he could be talking about prison since he doesn't mind being there. Nevertheless, he gets back home. They go to the hotel hot tub. Michael seems like ready for it, okay? Joey, are you really trying to have sex in an open to all hot tub area? It is a hotel. Like, do y'all forget these are public spaces? I would never be in a hotel hot tub. Oh, not in one of those, like, it's different when you have like a suite or something, but like, oh, gross. Anyway, Michael was like, he likes to please. And one of the things I noticed, I don't know why this didn't hit me before, but Joey is 8 years older than Michael. He's 48 and Michael is 40. They're also very different and just quite frankly unequally yoked. So Joey is staring at Michael the next day. Michael is like laying in the bed with his eyes closed, and Joey is just like, I was like, you are so weird. Why are you being such a creep while he's trying to rest? Anyway, so as soon as he opens his eyes, he can't even open them all the way. Joey asked him when he wakes up, what are we doing today? He said, well, I need to go sign up for Medicaid. I'd be shocked to find out if Michael still has Medicaid, seeing that they snatching it. I guess that can't be an option, but for so long, I didn't know you could that was a requirement of being out. Y'all notice how different it is in Idaho, a heavily white state, than these other places? Because I have yet to remember any Black person on this show being able to say that. Anyway, he said, do you want me to go? He was like, well, I was planning to do a run. So Michael was like, okay, go ahead. Get your run in. I'll be back. Like, Michael said he wanted to have sex last night. Now, I'm presuming that's, of course, what happened. It was a hot tub and everything else. He said it didn't pan out. He said Michael, although this is not the relationship for either one of them, I don't think Michael is fiending for sex. He didn't seem as irritable as some men do when they don't get it, because he was probably banging everybody in prison. Okay, but he's weirded out by Joey's innocence, which honestly I am too. I don't think Joey is fully comfortable, and this is just my suspicion, fully comfortable with being gay yet. Yes, he's out. Yes, he's admitted it. But he's also just seems kind of like he's still like, even when he talked about it, how he had to be high when he was with Michael. And he's also just fucking emo. Oh my gosh, it's annoying. Their scenes are cringy and just kind of boring, like a little too normal. Like, hey, what are you doing? Okay, I'll catch you later. Like, it's just not giving. And Joey seems like he wants a project of a person. Like he wants to project all the things he wants to fix in himself, which he has worked on, onto Michael. And Michael is just like the cool guy, and Joey is not. And Joey doesn't really offer anything but like antagonism and nagging and obsession. So that's not fun. It's just not fun. So Joey is like, now mind you, Joey has a completely different interpretation of the night, right? Joey is like, we were just lying in bed having some cool conversations. I was like, about what? And he told me that he loved me, and that was really sweet. It was nice just to be held. Not to be in y'all's business or nothing, but it's hard for me to believe that you didn't notice that Michael was hard. Like, I mean, you couldn't have thought that that's what he wanted to do too. It was just, honestly, I'm with Michael. If there's anything I can't stand, it is someone nagging or watching me like a hawk. It's the same reason why I don't like micromanagement. That is your insecurity. Leave me the fuck alone. I answer to who I need to answer to at a job, and that's limited. And that's it. I'm not going to live my personal life like that. And honestly, it feels controlling and annoying. I don't know that Joey intends to be controlling, but it's annoying. Michael took Michael took Joey's phone and said I accidentally took it because he was like, I just didn't want Joey calling him. He was like, and I think he'll be fine because he likes to be alone. Meanwhile, Joey's trying to go on his run and has his Bluetooth in, but can't find his phone. He all in the bathroom and stuff like that, looking for it. Now, but Michael was like, he'll be okay. He'll be okay. So all I can see is them breaking up, and I kind of want them to hurry up and break up because I think Michael deserves to have fun. I think Michael is not even afraid to go back to prison, but I think Michael has the right to enjoy himself. And the fact that he said Joey gives father-like vibes, I was like, yeah, that's actually how Joey's father was talking to him. The difference is Joey's father was his father. Like, no. All right, I'm really kind of disappointed we didn't get no Kiana and Demadric because I would love to see how this cookout pans out. But we do get Brooklyn and Brian. And am I the only one that thinks Brooklyn and Brian's storyline is kind of just like a filler? Like, I just feel like they keep acting like it's building to something, but it's not really. It just keeps falling flat for me. It does. It's just kind of like, okay. Why did I think that girl was from New York? I thought they were in New York the whole time. And then I saw the little screen thing at the bottom. I said, Ohio. Oh, I didn't know that's where she lived. I don't know. Okay, girl. So he calls her to tell her he's done with the halfway house. He was there for 3 weeks. She was like, look, I'm trying to get there on time. I'll get there, try to get there soon. I'm glad she ain't break her neck trying to, stop doing what she needed to do. But anyway, she couldn't see him because technically he's still a prisoner. I was like, so what is Michael if he has to be in a halfway house? I guess it's different, state to state, race to race, crime to crime. Anyway, so he's paroled to her house. I don't want to hear nobody else telling me about somebody they knew in high school. That's too close. Too soon. So she says he betrayed her trust. She doesn't really know where their relationship is going. But that's the kind of stuff she's been telling us since the beginning. That's what I mean. I just don't understand where this is going. So they've been talking for 10 years, essentially, but just became official in the last few months. So to me, I'm just kind of like, that didn't seem strange. Okay. Now, I will give it to her. At least the first time we see her kissing him, he had just come out the halfway house and probably had much more hygienic habits than when we see people come out of prison. All right. She's not sure about the trajectory of their relationship. We're not either. That's the problem. Y'all not giving. They've never had sex. You haven't been having sex since messing with him, but y'all only became official a few months ago. Girl, I don't know if you lying to us, but I think you punishing yourself like that. No, he's supposed to punish himself. Now, I understand she's busy. I understand that she has a child. But when somebody comes to your house for the first time, and this is just me, Brooklyn, I think you should have cleaned up a little bit more. I think, I mean, even if you stuff some stuff the old school way, when your mother would tell you to clean up your room and you just stuff stuff in the closet, I think you should have tried to clean up a little bit more. Okay, that's just. I know you're busy. I get it, but like you were also having cameras in your house. I just think you should have cleaned up. All right. Anyway, so she's already taken supplements to have kids. I said, why? I know people like, some people want to build families, and like, but my thing is, he doesn't even have a job. Like, he hasn't no income. Like, I know people who do it, but like, this seems like the fact that you're planning a pregnancy, because pregnancies happen, right? People choose to have the kid or not, and that's their business. But to actively be trying to have a baby with a man who is not established yet, you will have nobody to blame but yourself. And you don't even trust him. You just told us that. And you know a baby ain't no way to keep no man. So anyway, did y'all notice that Brian, when he was talking in the confessional, they asked him when was the last time he had sex, and he said, "I haven't had sex since I went to jail." What? The reason why that stuck out to me is because you notice how other people say things like, "Nah," like a man might say, I haven't been with a woman since being in jail," or a woman would say, "I haven't been with a man," but they don't say they haven't been with anybody or had sex, right? And he's like one of the few that I felt like said that, and like it sounds like what's supposed to happen in jail while you claim to be in relationships with other women. I mean, like, or some woman or whatever. Anyway, I'm just saying, I just noticed. Um, I, production asked how many times they had sex after they did. She said like 5 times. And Brian didn't answer. Honestly, I think that's intrusive. And I'm a little tired of these people in production asking those kind of personal questions. I wouldn't have told them. None of your business. We did. And that's all you need to know, if that. So after having sex 5 times, apparently, she gets into bed and brings up that picture. I said, damn, girl, what? He just kind of laughed and he like tore it up and says, I did that because I just wanted it to go away. He was like, she's saying that we're over it, we're past. He said, but 3 days from now, she'll bring it up again. And honestly, I definitely think she'll bring it up again. Okay. Because she is tripping. She was like, this doesn't match me. He does seem like he has a type though. I'm not saying that y'all the same, but y'all seem within the same genre of person. Okay. Nevertheless, Brooklyn has a daughter, which I had forgotten about until this episode. And she brings like the babysitter or grandma, whoever, brought her back home. And she comes in and she calls him bestie. He said he just stuck with it because that's what she calls him over the phone. And he goes to Alani's room. That little girl is so cute and so smart. And because let me tell you something. She said she needed to get to the details because ain't nobody been clear with her. But I'm gonna tell you the alert for me. First of all, Brooklyn, you don't let no strange man go into the bedroom with your 7-year-old to talk. I don't care that you feel like there was a camera crew in there or whatever. I think that's inappropriate. And he just hopped on the bed and laid on there. Now, granted, I know it's a matter of comfort and hanging out, but the thing is, he's not her father. And we can see her father is in her life. They showed us the pictures and she was like, yeah, that's my dad. Just, you don't know him outside of prison like that. I don't care that y'all dated in high school. I don't care. I don't care. You may think you know him, but your daughter is 7 years old, innocent, and I don't think should be exposed to that kind of stuff, period. I just don't. I don't. So she asked him, the little girl, Alani, she asked him about prison. And at this point, she probably asked him more questions than Brooklyn. All right. She was like, how did you get to prison? And he said, I was being mean to people. Now, I think he thought he was giving like a child's answer, but a child who has a very advanced brain, that wasn't good enough. And she said, like, how? Like, how are you mean? And he was like, not doing nice stuff. He tried to go around it. And she was like Like what? And he said, well, robbing people. I thought she wasn't gonna stop there. She said, like, what did you rob? Like a TV? Wow. Okay. So then he told her, he said, well, I'm not comfortable talking about it, but we'll talk about it some other time. And she received it. She wasn't upset, but she was there to get the answers. Girl, you got a real future ahead of you. Okay. Well, that part had me cracking up. Anyway, but Brooklyn, you don't need to be leaving your child alone with that man. All right, that's not her daddy, and she got a daddy. And if I was him, I'd have a whole lot to say about that right now. Okay, Will and Courtney, these are some of the dumbest people I've seen. They kind of deserve each other for how fucking dumb and stupid both of them are. They're at the hotel. He paid $10,000 for a ring for somebody who steals cars and use drugs. Let me tell you something. She will hawk that shit, okay? Cut it out. All right? Y'all are both dummies. They are spending a few hours together in the hotel because she has to go back to the halfway house. And I'm like, oh, I didn't. Okay. They're eating pizza that they ordered. They were acting high, honestly. She's nervous to be intimate with a man. See? That's what she said. She didn't say, I'm nervous to be intimate. Some little things. She said she's nervous to be intimate with a man because it's been 2 years. I don't know what that means about her sex life, though. She says she has a lot of questions she wants to ask him. They're engaged. But she's a little worried about it. I say, yeah, bitch, because you don't know him. And he's a little weird. He's also creating dating app for furries and weird shit like that. And you don't know him. He wants to take you back to California, and it's just weird. It's just weird. So he takes her to the halfway house, thank God, so we can get them off our screen. Courtney seems like she's either high or slow. Maybe even both, okay? So she asked, how soon do you think we can get married? He was like, tomorrow? I was like, don't that seem like something a serial killer would do? Like, it just gives lumberjack in a weird part of the country, and they won't find him until death 27, okay? Or murder 27. Anyway, so Courtney was like, well, I'm 200% sure in the confession I'm going to spend the rest of my life with him, but I just met him. I said, duh, dummy. Anyway, he was like, we can do it at the hotel. We can get some stuff done quickly. We can get you a dress. I was like, this is dumb as hell. And for what? See, I can go back to California because you got a job? Yeah, you need to make that money because that's the only reason why she with you. And she was like, well, I would want my mom to be there. She's already here. Y'all are stupid. Y'all are just stupid. And Will, you have too many years on her to be that goddamn dumb. All right. I think that's everybody before we get ready for the main event. So Brooke and JK, let me tell you something. Y'all need to break up. Fully break up, and Brooke, you need to run. And I'm not saying that even like I don't think you want some bullshit, but you need to get the hell away from him, even if you are on bullshit. Okay, here we go. So Brooke and JK are still fighting from when we saw them, and JK is in the grass and calling Brooke a stupid ass bitch. See that right there in my car where I put gas? I don't care how my car look, it's mine. You slamming my doors and shit? Oh hell no. Okay, so let me tell you something. Calling me a bitch is always gonna be a non-starter. Okay? The only thing I need to do after you get the fuck out that car is drive the fuck off. Okay, so John, his cousin, is like, well, it's gonna be a hot minute before I can get back over there. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, because they're in the middle of nowhere. I know what nowhere looks like because it's like that little horse and buggy town my father grew up in, and shit just takes forever. Anyway, so grandma wasn't having it. Grandma, as in Brooke's mother, was not having it. She was like, where are you? And when are you coming to get these kids? Yes. Okay. Yes. And no, I don't feel like she was like the grandmother who just doesn't want anything to do with her grandkids. But here you are, Brooke, as a single mother needing help from your mother, and all people do. All people need help raising their kids. A mother cannot always be there if you expect her to have a job, take care of the kids, so on and so forth. But here you are needing your mother's help so you can be with a man, okay? You need help in taking care of two of them. while trying to have a third with JK, and he's a man who is like a fourth child to you. What the fuck? You are another kind of dumb too, and y'all are ghetto rats. Anyway, so she is saying to her mom, she doesn't know what to do, but she's sitting in the car talking to her mom. I said that the first thing you need to do is fucking drive off and go get your kids. Fuck him and his mama and his family. So he gets back in the car, cursing her out still. I was like, why ain't you lock them doors? I do that at a habit anyway. My mother always said the first thing you do when you get in the car is lock them doors. All right, but certainly somebody who's hostile got to get the fuck out. Anyway, he gets back in the car, cursing her out. She tells him to shut up and pulls over, like, and says, get out. And he was like, no, and snatches the keys out of the ignition and starts walking. I was like, girl, first of all, when you said get out, you could already tell the fact that you was hanging around in the grass. Now you're using the kind of get out the car thing to hold over his head, like, you don't have another way. You don't have another way. You're not really trying to get away from him, which is some bullshit anyway. But when he snatched them keys out, I said, oh, this motherfucker's crazy. Okay? Because you were trying to make him late. He was like, no, you're trying to make me late. She said, you're making yourself late. I said, I concur. But you also are fucking with him. So then she asks for the keys back, and he starts telling her, get in the car, get in the car. She's like, no. And I'm thinking to myself, who the fuck is you to tell me to get in my goddamn car? Why you hold my keys? What the fuck? So then she asks for the keys back, and also he's like, no. She goes to open her car door. He slams it shut and says, get in the car. I was like, what the fuck are you saying? I was like, he's trying to say, no, get in the car while I drive. Motherfucker, do you have a license? Do you have anything right now? Hell no. So essentially, he is holding her hostage in her car. And we can say, oh, she could stay outside. That's her fucking car. What the fuck was she supposed to do? Anyway, any man talking to you like that, Brooke, barely out of prison, in a very new real life relationship, will abuse you physically. That slamming the car door, grabbing her by her arm and stuff, it has barely been 24 hours. That's the kind of man he is. Okay? Him having that camera crew, him being in front of people, does not change the way he treated you. Can you imagine once y'all are by yourselves? Like for real, not with the cameras? That's scary. No, it's not his job to be in the boys' lives. It's not. They're not his kids. Stop trying to find fathers for your children in prison. Like, if he's treating you like that, imagine how he treats your kids when you're not around. It was the shut up. When she was talking to him, he's saying he's done. He's breaking up with her while driving in her car illegally. Like, I just don't, this is too toxic and too poor white trash for me. So the mother pulls up while they're arguing in the yard from the car ride, while he calls her a stupid ass bitch for like the 100th time. And his mother got him together and was like, I taught you better than that, to ever treat a woman like that. Now go in the house. I was like, did you teach him better? Because there was clearly some lessons missed. Okay, but I'm glad she did check him, because he did put his head down and go straight in the house. But some men, that's the only woman they listen to. So the mother was like, what's going on? And Brooke is like, I need a minute to go and fix this. So she walks in Kathy's house, and I was Kathy when she said, I don't want y'all to tear up my house with that foolishness. But that also says to me that she knows that her son gets rah-rah. Okay? Now, he said she was trying to make him late for curfew, and the mom was like, excuse me? And she said, I have boys. They're 8 and 12. She was like, well, you knew he had a curfew. Don't make promises you can't keep. What kills me is that all that time that she was waiting out there outside that parole office and didn't go to Wendy's, didn't go get a coffee or nothing, and just waited for this motherfucker, and then waited outside that grandma's trailer park. You, but I do think she was doing it on purpose, because you mean to tell me, how the fuck do you have a phone and you're calling all these people? You never noticed the time, like you were really a whole ass hour off. Oh, I thought it was this. I thought it was 6 o'clock. Like you in your mind were a whole fucking hour off. So, miss me, miss me, miss me, miss me. Okay. Um. So she says, "Well, I'm not going to argue with you and your mom. I'm not doing this." So the mother said, "Yes, I think you should leave." I do too. I do too. And I would have reported him for taking my car. So she gets her purse and walks out. The next thing we know, JK is grabbing her by the arm again, okay, and asking her, "Where are you going?" Bitch, she just said she's leaving. What you mean, where's she going? She leaving. So he was like, "Oh, what about my party?" What are you, 12? What about my party? Fuck you. So he cares. Don't nobody give a shit about that damn party. So then he says, "Well, this was supposed to be the best day of my life." I was like, really? Getting out of prison is supposed to be the best day of your life? What if you never went? Like, we can already tell you are short-sighted and fuck you. All right. So he says she's ruining it like abusers do. They put all the blame on them. He didn't have to sit in his grandma's house that long. I know he wanted to see his grandma and shit, but he could have had his mama take him. All right. Anyway, I'm just going to say this. Both of them are toxic. They are. And don't need to be with each other. JK doesn't need to be with anybody. Period. Okay. Until he gets counseling and anger management. And men that are violent like that need years of it. He does not need to be with anybody. He's a little too quick to grab and pull. And him being around his parents don't seem to make enough of a difference to me. And that's why when she was like, "I taught you better than that," did you? So Brooke, you hit the nail on the head when you said he just got out and we're arguing. There's no way that that's healthy. But see, the thing is, your words aren't matching your actions. Then she says, "I don't tolerate disrespect. There's no way I'd let him do that again." But you are tolerating it. And you should have taken your ass to your mother's house, picked up your children, so they're not disappointed again. Because that much is not on JK and Kathy. All right? They are just it's just giving Trailer Park, Jerry Springer, throwback tees. Anyway, she tells Kathy, his mother, because she goes back inside the house, all right, that they made up. She said the boys were pretty upset. They thought they were going to meet JK. Are they really upset? Or is this you projecting that onto them? If anybody's upset, it's your mother. Because while you're doing the same thing he is. You're ruining my day, putting it all on you. And then you're turning around and you're putting it all on him for disappointing your kids. That's your job. Anyway, so thank God they didn't meet JK, because all of that is just too much. That's not the kind of man you want around your kids. And if that's not the kind of man you want around your kids, that's not the kind of man you should be in a relationship with. Anyway, she's going on about how she always keeps her word to her kids. Then go home. Oh my gosh. I hate when people just argue like that and just can't get enough of it. And there are people who do that perpetually. Brooke says she expects him to meet them today, though. The day of the party. The day of, oh, okay. So Brooke asked for his phone to look through it. And he's over there talking in his like interview, talking about something. Yeah, she's jealous. That's really messed up. She's jealous for no reason. Brooke is jealous for a reason, and you know it. Brooke keeps telling us what she's not going to do and not put up with in the confessionals, but her behavior says otherwise. Okay? He gave her his phone, and then just like that, like sorry men do, they find another way to do what they want to do. You can't control him like he's a child. So, he borrows his cousin's phone and says, "Look, I need to make a call to Alex." He calls Alex again. Okay, this same person he doesn't want anything to do with. And he's like, "I just want to make sure you're not coming to my party." He keeps calling her to tell her he doesn't want her to come, because he does want her to come. He does. He does want her to show up. And we see how crazy he is. He can't wait to triangulate all of them anyway. And so she's going through his phone. She's blocking Alex on social media. Brooke, you already doing too much for somebody who has an 8 and a 12-year-old to worry about. No, they may not be babies, but they need their mother, especially a 12-year-old, because they're about to go through that weird phase and probably won't get kind of normal again until about 17 or 18. Anyway, it's just, I know from teaching middle and high school kids, that's what happens. So Brooke tells him that she comes back outside in front of his cousin or whatever, and she's like, "You can have these hoes. I'm leaving." I was like, "Girl, it's about time. Will you leave already? Just get the fuck out of there." She went inside, and just like that, I said he immediately found his cousin's phone. He found a way, and then he told Alex, "But I still want to see you because you did a lot for me while I was in prison, and I appreciate that." This was only 3 months ago that he stopped talking to her. And honestly, Alex is the only one with some sense instead of saying celibate to some sorry bastard like this. He's controlling, he has narcissistic tendencies, and he has abusive tendencies. And that is no way to live, okay? Especially when you can help it. All right, so that's all I got. But I'll talk to y'all soon enough. Happy Saturday.